So wait, can we talk about what you just said, Adam? First off, Adam, welcome back to the show. It's been a long time.
Yes.
I love you.
Oh, love you too, Joel. Yes, I'm very happy to be here. Hi, Coop. You look nice.
Adam. Thank you.
You're smoky.
Coop's sexy little shop.
I know.
You're having a special snack right now in honor of the episode we're about to do. What is that special snack?
Iconoblast. We put the past on blast. Hit them with the truth with things you never knew. Nobody is safe, no thing to place. Got Joel and Coop with history in your face. Iconoblast.
The special snack is Cheerios and beer. And this is exactly what Detective, I guess Special Agent Dietz was eating in the movie Point Break.
Tommy was in that.
Yes, he was.
I like to call them Beerios. It's the breakfast of champions.
Yeah, because if Cheerios are not enough carbs for you, you need to just slather it in some beer. That's why that's why he ballooned up so big. It wasn't the drugs.
There's only one complaint that I've ever had about Cheerios, and that was the lack of alcohol. So that solves that problem.
Tom got sexier as he got chubby, though.
You think so?
So for the listeners at home, this is a new type of bonus episode that we're working on for Iconoblast called Iconoblast Epitaphs. And today the epitaph that we're going to be reading is for the late, great Tom Sizemore, or as my sister likes to call him, Michael Madsen.
Well, that's interesting. Michael Madsen is one of Tom Sizemore's kids' godfathers.
Oh, he's probably next up on the chopping block, too.
That's true. They both look, they're kind of becoming the same person before they die. He absorbed his evil.
My idea for this was anytime an iconic person dies, we do a show together, the three of us. That's what I want to do.
I think it sounds like a really fun idea.
That sounds great.
Yeah, but I want to try it. It's a little late because he's been dead now a couple of weeks. But
I thought it was just earlier this week.
It's been a while now, hasn't it?
March 3rd.
I have no. March 3rd, so it's been 9 days since he died. But yeah, the next person who dies, it would be cool if we just banged it out on the day or the next day. That'd be fucking fun.
That would be fun. If you have some spare money laying around, we can also do a celebrity Deadpool as well.
Ooh!
And just
what does that mean?
That means we bet on who we think is going to die next. And if you're right, then you win a certain agreed upon amount of money. And
I like that.
It's interesting because you could find someone young who just dies of sudden heart failure, or someone old as fuck, because you never know.
Or like that idiot that killed himself with his own Jeep Cherokee or whatever it was.
Who, the Lone Ranger?
Oh, how dare you talk about Anton Yelchin that way? Poor bastard.
Fucking loser.
Well, I'm gonna put my money at next celebrity to die, Timothy Chalamet. That's just because of a plan that I've been putting in motion. His name shows up a lot in my manifesto.
I'm gonna go with Stallone.
Stallone. Those are two bold choices. One guy's really young, the other guy's just in really good shape.
Well, Stallone has been juicing longer than all the rest. All the other action stars, Arnold, Dolph Lundgren, Van Damme, they all slowed down, switched to HGH, calmed the fuck down, look a little chubby, look normal. Stallone has been juicing still.
Yes.
He's fucking jacked up. He's going to have a heart attack and die.
I thought Stallone was on HGH also, and that's why his forehead has grown 10 times.
Yeah. It's why he has, I don't know why he tattooed his eyebrows on his face, but he's definitely juicing.
Because his head got so big, they're behind him now.
He had so many facelifts that actually his current hairline is his eyebrows.
Yeah. Yeah, and Timothy Chalamet, I don't know, that would be amazing. There should be someone who's less likely to die there should be like more money at stake.
Oh, that's got to be for Timothée Chalamet. That's got to be at least like 20-1, 30-1 odds, if not higher.
Or like
Who's
Timothy
going to go
Chalamet.
first? Tim or Sly? But what's your bet though, Adam? You got to pick your person.
Ooh, I'm trying to think of somebody I've seen recently in a movie where I'm like, ooh, they're not looking too good. And there's a lot of people.
Bruce
Willis would be a good one. He's way up there, but his brain's
he's going to
just
live
going.
forever. He's just retarded.
Yeah, he's just going to be a vegetable, and they're going to just like show him at every Oscars just laying in his bed, doing the fucking Roger Ebert face, just
trying to remember a line from his movie, sitting next to fucking what's his name from Back to the Future?
They put the
Michael J. Fox.
They just throw them in the same hospital bed together. How cruel!
There's like at the Oscars, there's like the retard table. They just put them all over there.
Oh my
man,
god!
Putting Michael J. Fox in a bed with somebody, that's like those magic fingers that you get at a seedy motel. You put in 25 cents and it vibrates for like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can't afford a ghost bed, you just put fucking Michael J.
Yeah,
Fox
you
in
just sleep
you.
with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, he can go work at Sharper Image. You just throw him in a bed and he'll just vibrate it for you.
You can turn any bed into a vibrating bed. Or
bless
vibrating car, vibrating seat, whatever you want to do. Sit on his lap and just go to town. Realistically, I'm kind of leaning towards, what's his name? Furlong? Kid from
Edward?
Edward Furlong.
He's a little
Ooh,
bloated.
that's a good one.
Every picture
good
picture I see of that guy, it looks like he is just moments away from death.
He's just fucking shit-faced with Ron Jeremy every day.
That's the way I want to die. Just drunk, shell of my former self, and hanging out with a well-known sex
Ron
offender.
Jeremy?
Yeah. I'm thinking like Jane Fonda or Liam Neeson.
Ooh, Liam
Liam's a good
Neeson.
one.
That's a tough one.
He seems healthy, but he does look super skinny now. Like he looks...
That's what
Clint
happens when
Eastwood-y.
everyone dies. They get really skinny and then they just die. Clint Eastwood's got a good 30 years left in him.
I'm switching mine to Clint Eastwood.
Well, in Adam's defense, Liam Neeson's
safe
wife
bet.
was very, very healthy looking before she died also. That's what happens when... didn't his wife run into a tree when she was
I
skiing
was going to
or
say,
something?
wasn't she standing next to Anton Yelchin when she died? Is that what happened?
All right. Well, speaking of dead celebrities, we'll talk about the celebrity that we all came together to discuss today, and that is the late, great Tom Sizemore.
All right, let's juice it.
Veteran actor Tom Sizemore had one of the most complicated, controversial, and strange careers in modern Hollywood, one that took him from the heights of fame to the lowest rungs as a cultural pariah. In the 1990s, Sizemore became a go-to name in the entertainment industry, something of a modern-day Ernest Borgnine type. Ernest Borgnine's not someone that I would really compare Tom Sizemore to, but that works. Bringing a blue-collar supporting grit to films like Heat, Natural Born Killers, and Saving Private Ryan. By the turn of the century, however, significant demons had begun to threaten his career, if not his life. What kind of drugs are demons?
And Black Hawk Down.
Oh,
yeah, Black Hawk Down is the first movie that I remember him from.
Yeah, Tom Sizemore was really into heroin.
Was it heroin?
He loved the heroin.
I thought he was big into meth.
And cocaine.
Yeah, he loved meth and cocaine, and he started getting addicted to. He was addicted to heroin before they did. I think it was Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan. Yeah.
And that's one where Steven Spielberg was giving him the ultimatum that if he ever had a dirty drug test, that they would reshoot all of his
every
parts.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, then they would shoot him for real and film it and put it in the movie.
Then he would just be an extra at that point.
Yeah, they're gonna kill him off at Doomsday.
An actual mortar fire. Yeah. I mean, he did actually do cocaine in Natural Born Killers.
On screen?
Yeah, there's a scene where he's like with a hooker doing coke, and
fuck yeah,
and I guess he couldn't get it going, like the takes weren't good, so Oliver Stone's like, here, we're gonna have some prop coke, and you just do the coke. And he switched out the coke and then did real coke because he's like, I needed to become that character, so I just did real coke. I'm like, what a great excuse.
Yeah, I figured that was just like some behind the scenes footage. They're like, fuck it, we're just going to cut that into the film.
That's like us with our show. Like we are actually drinking alcohol. It's not fake like every other podcast.
Yeah, all podcasts are fake. They're not really smoking weed or drinking.
Yeah, like Joe Rogan, that's all fake. Our show, we actually do the drugs. And
Joe Rogan, the Fear Factor guy?
Oh no, the guy from News Radio.
He has a podcast.
The Man Show guy.
Yeah, Man Show co-host. Apparently he's got a podcast now or something.
Good for him. It's a terrible time to start a podcast,
right?
So saturated.
Yeah. I've been looking into that a lot lately and realizing that this is not the right business to be in.
Yeah, there's no money in this, but God bless him.
It's fun.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Sizemore's shortcomings proved to be darker than most as he fell into unending cycles of tabloid fodder. Involving a relationship with one of the most notorious women of the area, arrests, drug use, and professional disappointments, including the famous Zizek's Road. Never heard of Zizek's Road before. What's that?
Yeah, it's on the way to Vegas.
I'm familiar with a road. He starred in a road?
The movie.
So the movie itself is on its way to Vegas? Is that like a sequel to Leaving Las Vegas?
Yeah, it's with Nicolas Cage.
It just took him way longer to kill himself.
By the mid-2000s, he could only be found, if at all, working in little scenes straight to VOD movies, X-rated curiosities, and short-lived shows like Dr. Vegas. Never heard of Dr. Vegas either.
Exactly.
He did a bunch of shitty shit.
With the tragic news of Sizemore's death at 61, perhaps it's time to recall what a powerhouse Sizemore once was, arguably the premier supporting actor for a brief window, and someone whose difficult life infused his scenes with hardscrabble authenticity beyond the script.
Nice.
I would let Tom Sizemore fuck me. Was that part of the original? What? Was that part of the original article, or did you just add that in for yourself, Joel?
I actually wrote this.
Oh, you wrote all this? This is the most in-depth research I have ever seen you do with some of the best syntax and grammar.
Yeah, I tried to make it as boring as possible.
Mickey Rourke. I think Mickey Rourke, he's next. He's gonna die in 2023.
Ooh, yeah.
And I don't want to say that at all. But I
love Mickey.
I love
The
Mickey.
Wrestler's like one of my favorite movies.
He's in a movie with Tom Sizemore. It's like one of the greatest buddy movies of all time.
Yeah. What is it? Rumblefish or something? No, it's.
Wait, was it Harley Davidson?
Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man.
Yeah, Marlboro Man. Yeah.
It's like my favorite buddy movie of all time.
I have never seen that movie from start to finish, and I'm so ashamed of myself for saying that. But I have a good reason for it, because when I first found out about that movie, it was from a trailer on the VHS copy of the original Ace Ventura. And I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my God, that movie looks fucking amazing. I have to see it. But I was raised in a Christian cult where anything above PG-13 was pushing it. PG-13 was essentially pornography to us. Rated R movies, that was full blown ogrish.com shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Was it even a good movie?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's good.
I love it. It's good. It's like absurd.
It's almost as good as True Romance.
I don't know. In my heart it is, but I don't know if it actually is.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it again and judge it. It's always like the movie you put on in the background when you're partying. You know?
True Romance is?
True Romance and Marlboro Man. Yeah.
Harley Davidson, Marlboro Man. Yeah, they have the proud tradition of having a fake drug in your movie. Harley Davidson, Marlboro Man has that. Because, like RoboCop 2, they had Nuke.
Like Nuke 'em. Yeah.
And in Harley Davidson Marlboro Man, it's the future of 1999. Actually, it's 96. It's the future of 96. And they have a drug called Crystal Dream, and it's like this. It's like this clear blue substance, and you put it in your eyes, and it's basically like MDMA meets cocaine with like a splash of acid.
It's kind of similar to Judge Dredd.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounds like the drug they were using in Dredd.
Like slow-mo.
Dude, I loved the newest Judge Dredd movie.
It's so good.
It's good.
So good.
All right, Coop, I know you have to leave here soon, so let's burn through some pages.
All right. Sizemore was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan in 1961. That poor bastard came from Detroit.
What?
His father was a lawyer and his mother an ombudsman for the city of Detroit. Nobody cares what an ombudsman is. I don't think ombudsmen even know what a fucking ombudsman is. Sizemore, the youth, was clouded by misbehaviors and criminal activity. And I quote, although my mother and father were both completely legit, it was all around me, this crime and licentiousness. He didn't have a vocabulary that big. I don't even know what licentiousness means.
Yeah, he's got a master's degree from Temple University, where Bill Cosby raped people.
He taught Bill Cosby how to rape.
He's got a doctorate in rape.
Is that what Dr. Huxtable had a doctorate in?
Yeah. They never mentioned.
He got it from Temple University.
That's why he wears the crazy sweaters, because it hides the cum stains and blood.
Sizemore chose a path of higher education as his escape, briefly attending Michigan State University for a year before switching to Wayne State University. It was there that he developed an interest in the performing arts, eventually securing a bachelor's degree in theater. Sizemore then moved on to Temple University, earning his master's in 1986. Following his graduation, Sizemore moved to New York City, determined to pursue a career in acting full-time. While his early days on the NYC acting scene weren't easy, Sizemore ascended relatively quickly into a steady stream of credits on the big and small screens, even if he was playing small characters with designations like Second Mugger and Wool Cap. Yeah, that's a bummer of a role. In 1989...
start somewhere.
Well, yeah, everybody does. I started off as a fluffer. Uncredited, too, which sucked.
Lucky guy.
On this show.
I was a podcast fluffer. Surprisingly, that's a really common job, but yeah, generally it's uncredited.
It sucks because I don't wash my balls.
Oh, nobody does.
Ever.
Nobody does.
That's a myth. Yeah. It's like brushing your tongue. Like, people act like they do, but they don't.
In 1989, he could be seen in the Cheech Marin vehicle Rude Awakening, the Sylvester Stallone film Lockup, and the long-forgotten feature debut of two of the hottest new magicians at the time, Penn and Teller Get Killed. Cheech Marin has been in something aside from Cheech and Chong and From Dusk Till Dawn?
What are you talking about? He was in Nash Bridges, the television show starring Don Johnson.
Holy shit, that's right.
That also had Tom Sizemore in it, in Harley Davidson Marlboro Man.
Wasn't he in another TV show with Sammo Hung?
Cheech Marin?
I might be getting that mixed up with Nash Bridges. I most likely am, but I thought that he was in something with Sammo Hung.
He was in Machete.
That's true, but that was all that's post Cheech and Chong. Cheech and Chong is where he started off, though, right?
A documentary. It's not a real movie.
There is an episode of Nash Bridges where Tommy Chong is in it and Philip Michael Thomas. So they reunited Sonny and Tubbs from Miami Vice and Cheech and Chong in the same episode.
Holy shit!
Cool.
Yeah,
how'd they pull that off?
None of them were really working at the time, so it was easy to get them there.
None of them had anything better to do.
Yeah.
Sizemore's big break came that year as he stood out with a small but notable role in Oliver Stone's 1989 anti-war film, Born on the 4th of July. He played a wheelchair-bound Vietnam vet alongside the film's star, Tom Cruise, helping tell the true story of Ron Kovic, a former soldier turned anti-war activist. Mm-hmm. That's another movie that I haven't seen.
It's good.
I haven't seen it either.
It's good.
I've watched clips.
It's not my favorite Oliver Stone movie, but it's very good.
It's one of the 3 Oscar nominations that Tom got. He still has never won.
He doesn't need to.
Unless he wins tonight for fucking Best Picture for Top Gun.
Tom Sizemore?
Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to specify which Tom. We're talking about two Toms right now.
They're the same person to me.
You put them side by side, just mirror image of each other.
Dude, we should fucking deep fake Tom Sizemore into every single Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, I thought he was going to say or the opposite. I thought, but sure, that'd be cool.
Or the opposite. Yeah.
Oh, flip!
No.
Flip both of them. I'd love to see.
I want to see Tom Cruise in Heat.
Hell yeah!
Directed by Michael Mann, and he directed Tom Cruise in Collateral. There's a link there.
I want to see Tom Sizemore in what's the what? Tomorrow.
I want to see him as Les Grossman in Top of Thunder.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even need the makeup or anything like that.
Listen, fuckstick, I'm a very busy man, so get the fuck out of my office before I snap off your dick and shove it into your ass. Tom Sizemore can easily do that line. Easily.
The only person that might do a better job than Tom Cruise would be Tom Sizemore. He would have crushed that role.
He wouldn't even have to have the fat fingers and arms, because he was already
Yeah, he would have just been himself.
Yeah,
exactly.
He already had the bloat.
He wouldn't even need to act. They wouldn't have to give him a script. They would just be like, "Hey, you're a douchebag producer. Just let him go."
No, they would just have to secretly film him and just call him and see what happen.
Like, you're not getting your Coke. Yeah. Listen, fuckstick.
Co-starring top talents like Willem Dafoe and Keira Sedgwick, Born on the 4th of July finished in the top 20 highest-grossing films of the year and was nominated for multiple Oscars. Suddenly, Sizemore was on his way to becoming a recognizable face to audiences, and he had begun laying the groundwork for the gruff, tough, tortured characters which would soon become his trademark. I think he just kind of played the roles that were the closest to him in real life. Grizzled war veterans, although he's not a war veteran, but you got his character from Saving Private Ryan. You got literally every movie that has him doing drugs is just him playing himself.
Just doing the drugs.
And probably whatever movies he ends up hitting women in, that's little bit of method acting there.
And we're going to get to that here in a minute.
Absolutely.
He might have hit a couple girls.
Yeah, 1 or 2 or 3.
But what did they do to deserve?
What did they say?
But why?
Yeah, what did they say? Where did they hide his cocaine? Sizemore became an in-demand choice for several of Hollywood's most acclaimed filmmakers, establishing himself as an actor who could portray a very specific type of character. According to his biographer on Turner Classic Movies, his, quote, spontaneity and robust humor allowed him to develop an intense, fast-talking persona for many of his characters, typically cops or cons on the fringe. It's no surprise then that folks like Stone, Michael Mann, Steven Spielberg, Carl Franklin, Martin Scorsese, and Ridley Scott were all eager to put him on screen.
Yeah, he's fucking great. I love characters like Tom Sizemore. You need that guy. You need someone who's believable.
Who else could you compare to him?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Like in terms of because it sounds he's kind of a character actor.
He's one of the best. Well, he's what he is like the best supporting character of all time. You
know what he's like? I really like guys who are like real tough guys, like old school tough guys. Like, are you like Ray Winstone?
Ooh, I love Ray Winstone. He was in The Departed, right?
He was Mr. French.
And also Beowulf, of all things.
Beowulf and
the animated one.
He's in this movie he was in a movie when he was a teenager called Scum, which is about like a British boys' school. It's basically like a prison movie, but it's all teenagers. And he becomes like the main badass in the prison. But guys like that, like I think Tom Sizemore's kind of like, but Ray Winstone is like a legit badass. Like that dude was like a competitive boxer all through his teens and his 20s.
Fuck yeah.
It's sort of like that guy. What's his name? He was in. I think it was in Snatch. Like he's in a shitload of the Guy Ritchie movies.
I was just thinking of that same guy.
Former soccer player. Vinny Jones. Vinny Jones. Yeah. That guy is an absolute badass.
Yeah,
you could compare him to him, but Tom is a better actor.
Tom's a way better actor. And I like Ray Winstone, but he's a little more subtle. Tom Sizemore is like he's very big. Like he can get loud.
Yeah, difference between like an American tough guy and a British tough guy. The British tough guy is going to be a little bit more subdued unless they're a fucking chab, but nobody likes them.
But he was more like, like that character was, he's definitely has the look and looks like that thing. It's not believable though. Like he's character acting. He's like fucking XXX or some shit. Tom can have that same amount of power and that same... You're like, that dude's a fucking badass. Yeah, but he's like 100% believable.
He's 100% believable.
Not a caricature.
Like,
yeah, not a joke.
He's a guy who can just walk. Like his character's not even talking. He can just be walking, and you're like, that guy looks like he's fucking like trouble.
Oh, dude, there's like they do it in Black Hawk Down and Saving Private Ryan. There's like a scene in both movies that are almost identical where he's just like, all right, they're about to like attack an area and they're getting shot at, and he just like gets up, walks. Like you see in Black Hawk Down, like a bullet grazes his shoulder and he's like on the radio, and everybody else is like taking cover, and he's just standing. He's just standing
out in the open,
making a call. and for some reason, because it's him, you 100% believe that if he was there, he would have done that.
Yeah, it's like Robert Duvall in Apocalypse Now, where everyone's like everyone get down, take cover, and he's just standing there looking at the waves with his hands on his hips, and bombs are going off around him.
His fucking shirt off and his cavalry cap on.
Yeah,
you can fight or you can surf.
Charlie don't surf.
Yeah, Charlie don't surf. But like, what was it? Tom, like the scene in Natural Born Killers when he gets to the prison to go see Mickey and Mallory, and there's like the scene where Tommy Lee Jones does most of the talking. He has this whole thing about how they're the worst of the worst, and they got him in the darkest dungeon, and he's just walking. He's wearing in this kind of really sick kind of Armani fucking suit, and he's got like a pompadour, and he's just walking, and he's just listening to Tommy Lee Jones. But you're like that dude's a total badass. If that dude walked into a bar, you'd be like, I don't know, that dude's wearing a suit, but that guy doesn't look like he's fucking around at all. and I fucking love that, especially 90s Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, I was telling Coop that on the last episode we did 2 ago when he first died, that Tom Hanks' character in Saving Private Ryan, why he's Tom Hanks is not a badass in anything. In that movie, he's fucking badass. And I was saying that the only fucking reason why is because Tom Sizemore was there and had this, like, he respected him. So you're like, okay, well, this guy who's actually insane, and, like, I'm afraid of that guy. If he respects Tom Hanks, then Tom Hanks he must be a badass.
And Tom Hanks did some stuff in Saving Private Ryan that was very Tom Sizemore-ish. Like, okay, there's a scene where, what was it? Their translator gets killed, and they stop into this area where they're like, they get the new translator kid.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, we need a new translator. Ours got killed. And he's like, grab your gear. And the kid has like a fucking typewriter and shit with him.
Yeah.
And he
drops it.
And then Tom Hanks just looks at him and holds up like a fucking golf pencil. He's like,
the little tiny
he's
pencil.
He's like, this is what you write with. And he didn't say a fucking word. He just holds it up, and it's like the guy it's kind of like in Platoon where Willem Dafoe kind of smartens up Charlie Sheen, and he just goes through his pack and he starts pulling shit out of his pack. He's like, you don't need this. You're not going to need that. Da 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 da. He kind of, there's that one guy who'll reach out to him and smarten him up.
I would put money on it that the two Toms, after they butt fucked each other and did some coke together, Sizemore was like, dude, don't do the scene like that. Do the scene like this. I bet you the influence was way more, like, the dude is influential. I bet you he impacted Tom Hanks' performance way more than we could imagine. Like the scene you said. That's
Yeah.
I bet you literally Sizemore was like, dude, don't say a fucking word. Fucking slap him. Give him the pencil and walk away.
And that whole movie, Tom Hanks has all those scenes, like the trembling of the hand thing. Like those are, like the first time you see that, that's a private moment he has where he's just sitting there and his hand shaking. And he kind of just stops it, and then he's like, "All right, we have to keep going because that's the mission." It's what was that line where he's just like, "Sir, why are we even doing this?" And he's like, "We're here to win the war." And the guys look at him like, fuck, okay. We got nothing else. That's Tom Hanks being like, we have nothing else better to do. That's what a leader is saying. We don't have anything else better to do. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean we need to win the war. He's just like, grab your gear. We got to go get fucking Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Dude, what's the big scene in Saving Private Ryan with the two Toms is when they're hiding in that church and it's like nighttime and they have that conversation together and they're talking about like an old French comedian or something, like Vegetto. Do you remember this?
I vaguely. I remember the scene, but I don't remember exactly what they said.
But basically, Tom Sizemore was just like, hey, do you remember this guy? It was funny. It starts with a V. And they just have this conversation together. And for like one moment, they both are like not being badasses.
Is that the scene where Tom Hanks is like Captain, who were you in the real world? He's like, I was a teacher, and he kind of looks. That happens later, and he
finally admits what he was.
Yeah, he just looks at him like you were a school teacher, and he just kind of nods like, wow. Like,
well, the one dude's trying to like leave. He's like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. And Tom Sizemore pulls a gun on him. He's like, I'm going to shoot you in the face if you don't listen to Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
And then Tom Hanks is like, I'm a teacher. And saves the squad.
I love it. Oh, okay. Another time
after the medic like slowly dies with all those gun wounds with that horrible scene. It's fucking
Giovanni Ribisi. They got him right in the liver. Poor bastard.
Is that the guy that got hit by a Jeep? Is that the guy that killed him?
No, that's Anton Yelchin, and Anton Yelchin didn't kill himself. Oh. It was a failure in the parking brake of that version of car that he had. It was a tragic death. I loved Anton Yelchin. It was
tragic.
He was great as what's his name from Star Trek?
Cool shit, like
he was Chekhov. He was the new Chekhov.
Yeah.
And he was in Green Room, which I actually enjoyed Green Room. I thought he was very good at it. Because he seemed like a pussy punk rock kid who had to survive not being murdered by white supremacists in the woods, and I bought it. I was like, "Good for you, Anton Yelchin."
He was in that. Wasn't he the guy in the Vietnam movie with Christian Bale?
Vietnam? You mean wasn't he John Connor in? Or not John Connor? He was Kyle Reese.
Well, he was Kyle Reese in
Terminator Salvation
4,
or whatever it was.
But he was also in like a Vietnam movie with Christian Bale.
Christian Bale did a Vietnam movie?
Yeah, he's like a pilot and he gets shot down and ends up in a prison.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that one.
I don't know.
It's
all I know is Batman.
It's one of
yeah. When Batman got shot down over Vietnam,
the Batwing got shot down. Yeah. And they torture him. He's like, I'm not going to tell you anything.
Yeah.
Wait, we already took off your mask. We know who you are.
Will you get him to talk?
It wasn't Anton Yelchin in that movie. It was Steve Zahn. I'm pretty sure it was Steve Zahn that was alongside Christian Bale in that, where he's a POW in Vietnam.
Oh, that's the guy that got killed by the Jeep. That's right.
No, Anton Yelchin got killed by the Jeep. Steve Zahn is the one that got his head chopped off by angry villagers in that Vietnam movie.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust. That amazing Vietnam based on true events movie.
Yeah.
And then, Cannibal Ferox, the cheaper knockoff. I'm actually still up. I'm still up in the air on whether Cannibal Holocaust or Cannibal Ferox is the better movie. But I'm pretty sure that Cannibal Ferox is the one that ripped off Cannibal Holocaust, right?
Yeah, but it had some good kills in it. They hung the lady up by her titties with hooks.
Yeah, that was like the Cannibal Ferox version of the Cannibal Holocaust lady getting impaled in through the vagina, out through the mouth.
Yeah, that is really good too.
There's
like Vladimir,
like Vlad the Impaler. There's roughly an equal amount of real animals getting killed on screen in both of those movies, though, because the Italians are
just like
crazy.
Milo and Otis.
Except that'll happen off camera. If Milo and Otis were filmed in Italy, then almost every scene would have them drowning one of either the dog or the cat.
Otis died like 5 times just to shoot the scene when he fights the bear.
Yeah, where's his Oscar?
Yeah, they should have gave it to Tom.
Yeah,
you
just
know how
like
they do like a memorial every Oscar where they're like, here's the actors that we lost this year. It's just Otis.
Otis over and over again. Otis 1, Otis 2, Otis 3, Otis 4, Otis 5.
It's like Charlie Chaplin, Otis.
Tom Sizemore,
Otis.
Oh God, they killed so many pugs and so many kittens for that fucking movie.
Holy fucking shit! I think I'm gonna take the time to cut that video. That would be a really funny,
dude.
Him Otis fighting the bear, and the bear just whack.
Yeah, just freeze frames from the scene over and over and over with Otis 1 through 10.
Dude, but you got to
good.
cut it into one of those Oscar ceremonies where they're going back and talking about the actors that they lost at that year.
Oh, it'll cut to to audience crying, audience tears over and over between each one.
Yes, bravo.
And then Will just goes up and you put Otis's face on top of Chris Rock and he slaps Otis.
Otis number 12. So, following in the wake of Born on the 4th of July, Sizemore peppered acclaimed series. What the fuck does? Following in the wake of Born on the 4th of July, Sizemore peppered acclaimed series like China Beach with films like The Mickey Rourke Vehicle, Harley Davidson, and The Marlboro Man. Yeah. Wesley Snipes' Passenger 57, and the Bruce Willis flick Striking Distance.
Mm-hmm. I never saw that.
It's very sexy. There's a lot of boobs, and you see Bruce Willis' dick in silhouette in a swimming pool.
No way.
Yeah.
And it's from, that means...
What about Tom Dick?
But it was from underwater, so some camera guy had to lay on the bottom of a pool and get a silhouette of Bruce Willis's dick. I saw that in a movie theater with my mother. and Sarah Jessica Parker's in that.
Fuck yeah.
We don't see any of her nudity, though.
Wait, that's Striking Distance, the one with Bruce Willis and Sarah Jessica Parker? They're both like
and Tom.
They're both like boat cops or something.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the Color of Night. That's the one with Bruce Willis's dick, and Striking Distance is the one with Sarah Jessica Parker.
No, you're thinking of Proletariat. That's the one with Sarah Jessica Parker, or was it Seabiscuit? No, Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit was a one with Sarah Jessica Parker and Tobey Maguire or something like that.
No, it was Master and Commander.
No, I'm thinking of Warhorse. Warhorse is the one
Universe
with Sarah Jessica Parker.
Ooh, Masters of the Universe is good. Tom should have been in
with
that.
Frank Langella as Skeletor.
What else has he been in?
Frank Langella? He was...
Skeletor?
Yeah, Frank Langella, he was in I think he was in Dave. He was in a lot he was like in a lot of old Grindhouse films, and I think he was in a bunch of he was very much like a Christopher Lee type of dude. They're like, we can't get Christopher Lee. Can we get Frank Langella? He's one of those guys. He's a very big kind of like gothic movie type actor kind of dude.
Christopher Lee had a really, really interesting career because I think that he worked for the OSS or something like that during World War II, like actual real James Bond shit.
He was a real fucking badass James Bond motherfucker. And if you go on iTunes, he's got a fuckload of metal albums.
Metal albums of all things. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, shit.
Christopher Lee, Saruman from Lord of the Rings was a real life badass. There's a famous story about.
Are they good songs?
It's Christopher Lee.
Yeah, they're not good.
No, you have to say they're good. Show some respect.
They're
I
amazing.
haven't listened to them.
It's like him in a velvet suit sitting on a stool next to like a Dimebag Darrell guitar. Like that's what the album covers look like.
next to the flame of all doom.
So it's essentially the metal version of that like spoken word weird jazz shit that William Shatner used to do back in the day.
Yes, it's that.
Rock
Imagine
it,
if
man.
Imagine if Tom Sizemore was Frodo. That would have been awesome.
Was Frodo? Oh my god!
He would have smoked.
Amazing.
He would have smoked all of Gandalf's weed and then just stayed home.
Yeah.
Dude, he would have pawned the one ring at a pawn shop to buy some more crack.
All right, burn through it, Coop. Burn through it.
By the early 90s, he was landing featured roles in films like the Robert Downey Jr. starring Heart and Souls, and endearing himself to the emerging Quentin Tarantino crowd with standout work in early QT scripts, True Romance, and Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
Boom.
The crown jewel of this era for Sizemore, however, was his performance as career bank robber Michael Chiaretto in Mann's 1995 classic Heat, working alongside legends like Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, and Al Pacino. Sizemore very much held his own, minting an unforgettable character.
Best part of the movie, in my opinion.
I think so, too.
Best character in the movie, at least.
Him and Tom Noonan's character, the guy they get the information for the bank heist, and he's in a wheelchair. They have.
Oh yeah,
They're like,
he's cool.
You know, the guy was like, "Where do you get this information?" He's like, "It just comes to you. It's just floating in the air. You just got to know how to grab it." He's in it for one scene. Tom Noonan's amazing.
Dude, I think they made a character.
He's
of
the Grim
that
Reaper
guy
in Last Action Hero. That's Tom Noonan.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
And he's in Manhunter. It's the original Red Dragon movie. It's Michael Mann. Actually, Jonathan Demme.
Well, I'm running real short on time, so I'm going to have to jump to the end of the story, which is
lightning round.
Lightning round.
After a lifetime of acting highs and personal lows, Sizemore began 2023 with a physical trauma from which he would never recover. Around 2 a.m. on February 18th, 2023, the actor suffered a brain aneurysm at his home. He was moved to a local Los Angeles hospital and listed in critical condition. The aneurysm came less than a month after Sizemore appeared in Beverly Hills at the premiere of Bermuda Island, a deserted island horror movie starring Sizemore and John Wells, and released in January of 2023. It's got to be a bummer that that's his last movie.
What if it's
Unless
good?
it's good. What if it is good?
I'll watch it. I got a couple days off. I'll watch it and report back.
Sizemore manager and spokesperson Charles Lago described the actor on February 19th as being in a wait-and-see situation, adding, quote, his family is aware and waiting for updates. Oh. Things were not looking hopeful. On the 28th, solemn news broke that Sizemore's doctors were guiding the actor's family through an end-of-life decision. Doctors informed his family that there is no further hope and have recommended end-of-life decision, Lago told the LA Times. Sizemore was taken off life support and on March 3rd pronounced dead. And this is a quote from Lago. It is with great sadness and sorrow I have to announce that actor Thomas Edward Sizemore, age 61, passed away peacefully in his sleep today at St. Joseph's Hospital, Burbank. His brother Paul and twin boys Jaden and Jagger were at his side. He's got a son named Jagger.
Not related to not related to Mick Jagger. It's another Jagger.
Oh, okay. I thought there was more than one, or I thought there was only one. It is
just real quick before you go. I have an actual story. I've been saving this fucking story since he died. Since I wanted to talk about it on the Harlem Hellfighters episodes. I was waiting until this episode to tell the story. I talked to Tom Sizemore once.
What?
On the phone.
On the phone?
Yeah. So, here it is. So, it was like 2012, and Bellflower, the movie I made that was a big deal, got into Sundance and all this shit. Tom was all fucked up, and he tried to do a film festival. Tom Sizemore and this guy, I forget his name. I should have remembered his name, but it was Tom Sizemore and this other guy who I follow on Instagram. I could look him up. I can't remember his name. But they were like, hey, we're doing this festival. It's our first year. The festival was full of short films, like horror films, horror shorts, and Tom is a fan of Bellflower, and this guy, it's like his favorite fucking movie. So he was like, hey, can you bring the car? Tom Sizemore's going to be there. Tom is the guy. He's paying for this. He's running it. He's going to come. Do you guys want to be at the festival? You know? And I ended up on a phone call. It was not just me. It was like this group call to like plan what we're going to do. And 30 minutes of the phone call was like producer bullshit and planning. And the car was going to be put on a stage. We're going to shoot flames before the main event. All these things. And then they put Tom on the phone, and he was fucking hammered. And he was like, yeah, I love that movie. Great movie. So happy you guys are part of the team. I'm really excited about starting this festival. It's going to happen every year. It was like a horror film festival. So I talked to him for 5 minutes. Then, this is the part that makes me love Tom Sizemore. So we were in the Medusa car was going to be part of like the display, like part of the festival. When you go in, the car is there. At a certain time, we'll shoot some flames. Bellflower played at the festival. All these other movies are playing. We get there. Tom isn't there. He doesn't show up. He's a no-show. When we get there, we think, oh, this is awesome. They're all ready for us, right? We're cool. We start doing donuts in the parking lot and shooting flames, and the security comes and stops us and kicks us out of the fucking festival. They don't let us in. The car's supposed to be in there. They kick us out. We leave. We end up partying and doing mushrooms in the desert. But anyway.
And that's when you actually ran into Tom Sizemore. He just came out of nowhere and was like, oh, you guys got some shrooms?
Never talked to him again. But because he's such a fuck up, the festival was so awful. The car was supposed to be there. They kicked us out. And then we just did mushrooms in the desert because it was out by where they do, it's near Palm Springs and shit.
Oh, yeah, where they do mushrooms in the desert.
Yeah, so
that's where Jim Morrison wrote all the songs.
I heard his voice on the phone. I never really talked to him directly, but he was on the call, and I heard his voice directly.
Tom Sizemore's in the movie The Doors, by the way.
Wait, is he?
Yeah.
Who does he play in The Doors? So that's it. He's been in 2 movies with Val Kilmer?
I guess so, yeah.
Do you think he fucked Val Kilmer? Do you think he was like fucking the actors? Do you think he fucked Tom Hanks?
Oh yeah, all of them. It would be written into the contract.
I imagine he seems like a very generous lover.
I love you, dude. So. We can get out of here.
All right, yeah. Sorry, everybody. I got to split. It's been a long day and a late night, but we will next time a famous person dies. We promise to bring you another episode of Iconoblast Epitaphs. Until then, Adam, you want to plug anything while you're on here?
Will you come to the next one? Promise.
I promise I'll come to the next one.
Swear to me.
Yes. I will be. I will
get him to you. Will you get him to talk?
Yes, I will be at the next one, I promise.
All right. Okay. And don't forget to check out Conmin Podcast, which is with Adam and Sean Anchondo. Joel and I pop in every now and then. Also check out Skeleton Factory, which is Adam's movie review podcast of all of the most obscure movies you could possibly think of, but very, very well thought out commentary about them. Until the next celebrity dies, this is it for the first official episode of the Iconoblast Epitaph podcast.
Yeah.
Mickey Rourke, we know you're next.
Bye.
Bye.